am in desperate need of advice. I don't know what to do anymore. I really need advice. Sorry for the long post. So, me and my current boyfriend, 17M, and me, 17F, have been together for about a year. For the most part, it's been pretty good, but as things have gone on, I've started to grow really frustrated about certain things in our relationship. It's gotten to the point that I am actively thinking about not being with him more than our future. I can't tell if I'm just being dramatic and childish, but it is eating away at me so bad. Such as now, whenever we FaceTime, he is playing video games and is completely focused on his game and his friends to the point I repeat sentences 2/3 times before he acknowledges me. Literally no matter what. Unless he calls me when he's laying down and claims he wants to talk but acts super sleepy so I can't ever talk to him. I've expressed my frustrations twice now about this specific issue and he has made zero changes. He acts remorseful but makes no effort, and when I've been truthful it turns into an argument. Another thing is him constantly making sex jokes. Literally everything is sexual or he is trying something. It was to a point that he wanted to have sex 6 times when we hung out. I've been able to reason a bit, and it's not as frequent now, but he still gets upset if we don't do actives 2/3 times. The only time we've gone without his family functions, and even then he touches my chest. I've also voiced my frustrations with this. His brain rot humor and humor in general is overwhelming. I know that this is probably the dumbest issue to have ever, but it is so embarrassing to be in public and him screaming little kid brain rot phrases. And it overstimulates me a lot. We can't even sit in silence in the car for a few minutes without him saying something related to it. And I know that this is a boy thing, but letting gas out, Dutch ovens, restraining me close to him to gross me out, purposely eating things that upset his stomach. I know we are still kids, but I can't handle it. And he honestly had zero care that I dislike this stuff a lot. Acting like I'm dumb. Both me and him are big into history, him more world, wars, and American history. Me being major historical disasters, like certain shipwrecks, Asian dynasties, as well as other historical families. He is better at the things he likes and vice versa for me. But he loves to act like he knows more about my interests than me and purposely argues even when he is proven wrong. I have paid for everything in our relationship. This one I do not mind so much because it is understandable circumstances, but every single date we've had, I pay for. Even when we've been out with his family, I pay for me and him. I tried to ask if he could plan something for Valentine's Day, and I offered to pay. I told him that if he planned it, I'd pay, and he said he didn't want to plan anything. And gifts he has gotten for me feel just very thoughtless. I don't consider myself picky. Literally, my only preference is silver colors for jewelry. The 2 pieces I've gotten, one being a promise ring I can't wear because it turns my finger green, and when I tried to look for a replacement, it was 50 cents online was gold, and same with a necklace that I still wear every day. Also for school events like dances, I've paid for his outfit, tickets, the meal, pictures, everything. He didn't even get me flowers. I have told him many times that I would be over the moon if I got a handwritten letter, picking up little things outside because they reminded him of me, making me little flower arrangements from the things outside, even paragraphs randomly, but that's never happened either. I was even making him handmade trinkets, letters, drawings and paintings, and paragraphs once in a while too. But it's never been reciprocated. I don't mean to sound spoiled at all because I appreciate everything he's done, I really do. Hygiene. When he comes over, I see a lot that it doesn't look like he's brushed his teeth since the last time I saw him, and I have to encourage him to do so. He never does his hair, and will wear the same pair of clothes 2+ days in a row without changing. Maybe it's a sensory thing for me, but it's just icky. I worry that he might be manipulative as well. This is something I've been thinking about a lot, and I think it's why a lot of the other this listed previously have started to bother me more. I have a rocky relationship with my parents, and when I tell him about things that happen, he says things like he's the only one who will love me anyways, that I'm never going to be able to leave because he won't let me. That one gets under my skin a bit because of how sweetly and jokingly he says it. Maybe this is normal, but I might be dramatic. He's also said that neither of us will be around if we break up. And he's told me that if I do break up with him, that he'd wanna live himself. Another thing that I think really opened my eyes was during an argument he said that he's sorry for acting like an asshole, but he doesn't have a choice because I won't change if he's not. This was when he got angry at me for saying I was feeling neglected. Ever since I've read that, I feel like my whole opinion about him has changed. And he cannot stay off the topic of my weight, constantly asking me to lose weight because it would be nice to pick me up and do activities while being held, which is like super devastating to hear all the time already being self-conscious. He absolutely will not let me on his phone before he lets me on it. It's a huge deal and he's really resistant. He'll delete apps, and he just says he doesn't want me to see the girls he follows and all the porn, but it's a bit hard to trust. I've also found pictures of a girl in his camera roll, and when I ask about her, he says it's a girl he used to date before me who passed away, but when I try to ask more questions, like what her name was, if he has any more pictures, he's really resistant. I feel terrible for saying this, but I have to wonder if he's being unfaithful, and that's why he suddenly doesn't know anything about her. I know it's an actual possibility she has passed, but with as close as I am to his family, she's never been mentioned. To add, I have his face saved to my phone in a super easy password, so he has access to mine anytime he likes. Don't get me wrong, I am not an angel or anything, and recently I've been talking to someone else. I haven't been flirting back, and when things get like that I change the topic, but I feel like this jump started the thought of breaking up. It feels like I'm imagining myself with him instead of my boyfriend, and I feel terrible about it. It feels like I'm cheating, and I feel like such an awful person for even having these thoughts. And why in the heck in my right mind would I leave my boyfriend of a year for a grown adult I've been talking to for like a week who lives halfway across the world? I'm probably being ridiculous for even thinking about trying anything with him, but it's so nice to be able to talk with someone and have a conversation. We actually share similar interests, and I just feel refreshed to talk with him. I know how awful that sounds, I'm sorry. I know it sounds like I have my mind made up, but I don't know anymore. I feel trapped, but I also feel like I should wait it out because it might pass. Maybe I'll be able to mend the issues I'm having and conceal it like before. It's like I'm still clinging on to it. I know I have my whole life in front of me and so many more years, but I feel like I'm connected to far in his life and with his family to even think about leaving. It literally feels like I'm going insane. I'm also riding sleep deprivation and with Jane in my system, so I'm sorry if this is hard to understand and if my spelling sucks. This is weighing really heavily on my mind, and I have no one to talk to about this in real life because the only person I talk to is my boyfriend. I'm so sorry for how long this is, and any bad grammar spelling ECT. I'm writing this very late and very tired because I can't sleep.